world. My name is Hobson McCain,
My name is Mark Ray Redmond.
and this is America. Um, Obviously, we've been gone for quite some time, haven't we? I was working, Mark was working. We new to this adult life stuff, so we had a little adjusting period.
It's
Um,
different.
yeah, so we're calling this season two of This Is America. We're gonna change things up this season, do things just a little bit differently. Um, We're going to try to have a lot more guests on the show this season. Just get a few differing opinions and kind of increase the back and forth on the show. Because as much as I hate to admit it, me and Mark do agree on a lot of things. So we're going to try to get a few more different perspectives. We're also going to be talking a little bit more about contemporary issues and different social changes that we can make as a minority community. Obviously, me and Mark are both African American young males, so we are part of the minority community. So our perspective obviously comes from the minority community perspective, and so we want to talk a little bit more about how we can grow not only as a community but as a nation, and how we're going to fix all the problems that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
Um,
We did a lot of limiting ourselves by trying to focus on what the news was talking about. When in reality, we can help a lot more by speaking on things that we see that we actually think we need to fix. Through.
yeah, exactly. So we're still going to be doing our same political spiel. We're definitely going to have segments where we're talking about political events. Actually, like the one that we're going to talk about today is going to be mostly a politically oriented segment. But you'll see in the coming episodes later this week that we are going to be touching on some hard, maybe some hard to talk about subjects, and some subjects that just need, frankly, to be talked about within the social contemporary realm.
We won't get anywhere not talking about these things. Dancing around the topic is not going to be productive for anybody. We need to tackle our issues head on, or they're just going to stay there. We see what happens when we just try to act like nothing happened.
Exactly. So that's our introduction for 2019. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Valentine's Day. I guess if you're into that kind of thing. But anyway, we're gonna start it off talking about the government reopening. So last Friday, or this past Friday, I guess, Mr. Trump, President Trump, however you like to address him, he came into the Rose Garden and made a huge announcement that the government was reopening for 3 weeks so that they could further discussions about border security. Mark, what did you gain from his little spiel that past Friday?
Well, the first thing that I noticed was that this is a temporary reopening. Everybody's talking about how he reopened the government. That's not really what he did. He said that we're going to come back and talk until February 15th. And then by February 15th, I don't have no law.
Yes.
So, like, that's basically what he said. Like, he said a whole bunch of other stuff. He changed the topic. He talked about the border security. He talked about the wall itself. He didn't really discuss too much about what needs to happen for the government to not shut down by the 15th. He just kind of threw that out there.
And he actually even said, he, yeah, he even said that if in the next 3 weeks we don't get any movement on the border wall funding, that the government will shut down again after these 3 weeks. This is uh, technically Friday did not end the government shutdown, but the longest government shutdown in history is set to end. It's 36 days as of Friday. Probably 38, 39 by the time you guys watch this video. But the longest shutdown in government history. And it's over something border security, which immigration rates, drug rates coming across the border have all been at historical lows. In recent years, they've been declining since honestly since Bush, I believe, took office, and further decline under Obama administration. So immigration and border security has been a focus of past administrations.
He shut down the government because he wanted funding for his wall. Correct.
Yeah.
Didn't he say that Mexico was going to pay for the wall? So many different people have been supposed to pay for the wall. They said they weren't going to do it. He just ignored what everybody said to him about them not paying for this. Now he's trying to tell us that we need to pay for it as the American. He's saying that the American government needs to take funding from other places to fund this wall. I don't understand the rationale behind it, because at this point, with the longest government shutdown in history, he didn't even get the money for the wall. Like, he doesn't have it. Like, so for me, my question would be to him: what was the purpose of these last 35, 36 days? What was done?
Well,
What was accomplished? If now that the government is open again, y'all are going to talk about the funding for your wall.
and that's what they've been doing for the last 36 days.
What were y'all doing for the last 36 days is my question. It was shut down, but you still live in the White House, I'm assuming. You know, like, everybody's still, like, they weren't getting paid, but they should have been volunteering like everybody else is volunteering, right?
Are you talking about congressmen and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Congressmen and the president were, well, actually, Donald Trump doesn't get paid to be president, but Congress was getting paid for the last 36 days. It's like TSA employees and other people like that haven't been getting paid. It's a certain category of government employees.
No. So if y'all have been working, how do y'all not have the deal already? If y'all are the only people that have been working, and the whole issue is the funding for this wall, where's the money for the wall? Like, what have y'all done in these last 36 days?
So I'll address that real quick, just because Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to get any money for the wall. That's the Democrats' point of view, is that we don't need a wall. Like I said, like immigration rates and even illegal, dangerous drugs that have been coming across the border, the rates of this happening have been declining in the past 19 years, in the past 2 decades. So the Democrats just, and a few Republicans firmly believe that funding for the wall is not means to shut down the government. That is not a legitimate reason to shut down the government, because we don't legitimately need a wall. The way I see it, and this is just my personal opinion, I think that Trump sees the wall kind of as a memorial of his administration and of his service as president. He promised this wall, all on his campaign trail was, oh, build that wall, build that wall. Mexico's going to pay for the wall. He said it 19 times, at least 19 times.
Oh, he's a lie. That's what it was. He told everybody he was going to get the wall. He already lied once, because he said Mexico was going to build the wall. They were going to pay for it, at least. He said it was going to come out of their pockets. When, like, logically, you should understand you can't force somebody to pay for something that they don't want to pay for. Like, it doesn't make any sense logically, especially when they are telling you to your face they're not going to do it.
And in typical Trumpian fashion, he has reshaped his statements and said, oh, when I said that, I didn't mean that they were going to write us a check. So now he's kind of under this, he's kind of under this umbrella of the new NAFTA agreement that Canada and Mexico have agreed to. The money that we get from that will be the money that's going to pay for this wall.
First time.
Yeah, well, that would have been a fantastic thing to say when he was on the campaign trail, but I'm sure that
that's what he said, but that wasn't.
Yeah, if that's what he meant when he said that, I'm sure that's what he would have said. Because Donald Trump is he's a very transparent man, except with his dealings with Russia. He's extremely transparent, usually about what he's trying to do. I slid a subliminal shot in right there. Yeah, y'all saw it, y'all heard it.
Because obviously there's something going on here.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it has anything to do with Russia, but who got arrested today?
Roger Stone got arrested. So that's another thing. This announcement was actually on the coattails of the FBI pulled up to Roger Stone's house unannounced and arrested him.
There's a video.
Yeah, there's a video. CNN CNN got video coverage of it, and honestly, people are asking how CNN knew. Like, that's a pretty valid question. I don't know how CNN knew to be there, but they were there. They got video of it. He did get arrested, and they have 28 pages of evidence surrounding six charges: obstruction of justice, tampering with witnesses, and lying to Congress, I believe, are among those charges.
Ironically enough, today the government shutdown ended, right? For really no reason, because he didn't get what he wanted from the shutdown. And if he doesn't get what he wanted from the shutdown, then the shutdown will happen again. So in reality, this to me is a poor cover up from like what's going on. He's not even trying to cover it up. He's just trying to make us talk about something different. Good job, Donald Trump. Good job, President Trump. You ended the shutdown.
The shutdown that you started, first of all. The shutdown that Trump initiated. There have been multiple bills that have been offered up to reopen the government. So
I'm so happy that the government shutdown is temporarily over. I don't really understand why it's temporarily over, because you didn't get what you wanted from the shutdown to begin with. But I do think that it's convenient that today Mr. Robert Stone got arrested, and today he came out and said that the shutdown's over temporarily for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and there has been a history of Trump making some attempt to salvage situations when the Mueller investigation announces certain things.
He's telling us to look over here while this is going.
So it is. I do think that the making the border security like, oh, it's a national emergency, it's a humanitarian crisis. He even said today that immigrants or potential immigrants who are trying to cross into the country, the only reason they come is because they have hope that they will get in. And he thinks that a wall will destroy this hope. One, these people are running from murderers, gangs, and like rapists. Like they are running from the cartel and the criminals that Donald Trump is so scared of. They are in those countries. The people who are trying to come to this country, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have one question. And this, I'm not trying to defend Donald Trump, but this is more of a logical question. Donald Trump ran his entire platform on the wall, border security, stuff to that effect. Why would this caravan think that he was going to sit by and let them come in? That was my first thought. Out of all the things you could have went to get away from him, why was the USA, President Donald Trump, who's trying to build a wall to block where you're trying to come in? Why was it seems to me if it doesn't make sense to think that they're going to get in. They're on their side. I don't see why they'll be able to get in, because we have issues with our law. He did make a valid point saying that our laws, our immigration laws, are an apple stock amongst nations. I know that to move to Canada, you need to apply and say why you're trying to move to Canada, what specifically you're trying to do. You can't just apply to move into Canada. You can't just go there. If you're trying to move into certain African countries, you need to know somebody that lives there before. They have to vouch for you to be able to come into the country. So other countries have specific immigration laws that make it smooth the process for people. It makes it less people able to apply to come to the country. We don't have laws like that. But he has a solid foundation with that argument. But his solution, instead of better legislation and better laws, is a law. That to me is illogical. There's a lot of stuff that's just illogical I see going on, and it's kind of frustrating, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
said,
so that was definitely. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that was definitely a multi-stage question. So I guess I'll try to answer as many parts of it as I can.
Yeah. I kind of
So with my thinking, most of the people who are coming into the country are coming from the South, and their only escape is realistically either North or South. They don't really have the funds to go east and west and actually get places, unless they're going to go to like the Caribbean or something like that. So there is a lot of authoritarian governments in South America, in Central America, and governments that have been overrun and manipulated by cartels and gangs and stuff of that nature. So, like realistically, their only real option is to either go to a safe country in Central America or in South America, which is going to be treacherous and dangerous, or come to America and figure that out. And just like you said, America's immigration laws aren't, it's not like as rigorous as probably applying to go into an authoritarian government's country, because
Would you consider America to be a safe country?
yeah, safer than the Central American countries and South American countries, 100%, 120%.
Have to come through
Huh?
with the path that they have to come through, and that boundary right there on the border, where he said he's not letting anybody in.
I think honestly, yes, that is a safer bet for a lot of people than staying in their home country. Yes, 100%. Just because like that, if you come to America, you're gonna get arrested. Maybe. If you stay in Central America, you can get murdered and raped, or you have to join a gang and you'll get murdered and raped. Like,
Donald Trump and his boys were getting people that were here and sending them out. He's not about to let. My personal opinion is that he will not let any of them come into the country. Like, that's just looking back at what he said. He does his best to keep his word. That's one thing that I'll give him. Like, he does fight to try to keep his word, and if he can't, he'll say he didn't say that. But he said that he was not going to let them in, and he said that he was going to try to crack down on illegal immigration, yada yada. We were in school and he was like campaigning. We know how he planned to get rid of like sanctuary cities and all the other stuff. Like, he wanted to really get rid of like the illegal immigration issue. There is a caravan of illegal immigrants trying to come into the country. We've got national news coverage. Everybody put the limelight on this group of people. Therefore, putting the limelight on Mr. President Donald Trump. Let's see what he's going to do. Realistically, can you blame him if he does not let any of them in? That's something that I don't see him doing.
Okay,
I don't see him letting the Yankees or sending people out that are already inside the country.
but according to our own laws, like, we can accept refugees, people who are fleeing political conflict or fleeing war type situations. We can accept political refugees. So turning these people away without even seeing if they are political refugees, I think is immoral. Just because.
That he's not being immoral, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, for like just the sake of like, why are they coming? Because America is supposed to be a place where refugees can come for political safe haven. And whether people like it or not, that's just what America has been. We go fight wars for the sake of humanitarian crises. So that is, whether we like it or not, we have built that image in the world as the super cop of Earth.
We live here, so we kind of know better. But especially us specifically knowing our history in this country, we know better than to think of America as what, sad to say, what other minorities think before they come.
Yeah, I mean, we have our own humanitarian crises going on, and this is excluding the border crisis, quote unquote. So we do have our own problems, but at the same time, in general, you do not have to go outside to a war zone like state, right? That is one blessing, or that is one benefit of being in America, is that especially as African American males, we face certain challenges, we face certain discriminations, but at the same time, if me and you want to go walk down the street and get a cheeseburger, we don't necessarily have to worry about getting shot. Like, if
that's right there.
Yeah, if if a cop pulled us over and shot us, would we be surprised per se? Probably not. But are we expecting it? No. So there are I think it is important to establish that hierarchy of sorts. America is, one of the safest countries in general. We do still have our problems. We definitely still have our issues that we need to overcome. But we are a lot better than a war-torn, gang-savaged Central American country like maybe Honduras or let's say Venezuela under Chavez, or maybe it wasn't Chavez, maybe Fujimori. Regardless.
When I think of a situation like that, I think of Pablo Escobar and what he was trying to do. Like, that happens. He was the biggest drug dealer, I guess, to do something like what he was doing. But like you said, that's not too uncommon. They're just not Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, and I think honestly, with the fact that the drugs coming into the country has been declining, immigration into the country has been declining, the overall issue is more that, just like you said, Donald Trump decides to reopen the government to really for no reason, because except to get government employees paid, which is 100% a good reason. They need to get their back pay. That is 100% a good reason to reopen the government. But you're just going to reopen it for 3 weeks to talk about something that you've been talking about for the last month and 5 days. There's not really any evidence that shows that we're going to make any progress in the next 3 weeks.
Because the Democrats said don't think that we need a wall. I just turned to CNN and they the headline said no funds were given for the wall. That was what they were broadcasting. That was their pitch to view, that they did not give him any money for this wall. So realistically, in these 3 weeks, I don't see any progress being made on that wall. So on February 15th, I'm foreseeing a government shutdown. Again, for the exact same reason that we just had the longest government shutdown in history. He just wanted to not have it be 2 month, 3 month shutdown. He's breaking it in half right here with this 3 weeks where he's going to get everybody paid. Yeah, which is good decision. Get on.
Yeah, and I think honestly Trump is setting it up to where I think he believes that there's not going to be any progress made on this front. But I think he's setting it up so that he can declare a state of national emergency and simply allocate as many funds as he wants to build his wall, and then just do it his way. He won't have to go through Congress and things of that nature. And that opens up doors for a lot of different things that are extremely dangerous for the country and democracy in general.
We turn into that same government that people are fleeing from.
Exactly.
That quick with this wall. Authoritarian government, because and that would basically be us in a police state, him doing whatever he wants to, and that turns the president into a dictator because there's nobody to check his power because it's a police state and he's doing whatever he wants to.
Exactly. So hopefully it won't go that far, but we do definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts. Do you guys agree with us? Do you think that this government reopening was made in good faith? Do you think there will be any progress in the next 15 days? Let us know, hit us a comment, shoot us a DM. We have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Hit us, subscribe, follow, share, like, all that great stuff. But make sure that you guys are getting involved in this conversation. We definitely want to have this show be as interactive as possible. We are also exploring the option of live streaming in 2019. It's probably going to be towards the end just because we want to build up our audience a little more. But we do want to hear you guys' input. So, government shutdown, is it great? Is it not great? Will it shut down again? Let us know. My name is Hobson.
Okay, Raymond.
And we're out. Appreciate you for tuning in.